Yo, 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 we are back, Parallel Universe Podcast. I'm back here with the squad. What up?
What up? What up?
What up? We here with Rain. What up, Rain? Anti-Fable. You know what I'm saying? This is our first episode of Film Fanatic Fridays. We're going to be touching on our top 10 favorite horror movies of all time, our personals. So they don't necessarily have to be your personal favorite, but they are our top 10 list. And we'll also be going into the first Hellraiser film by Clive Barker. So, do you believe in the parallel universe?
I do.
All right. We're going to start with Anti-Fable this week. Hey, man, we all big horror movie fanatics. You know, a lot of my friends are. A lot of, the horror genre has millions upon millions of fans. Over the years, they produced a lot of classic masterpiece horror films, and some of them stuck with us since we were children all the way to our adulthood, and we probably be passing these movies down to our children. So, what are your top 10 personal favorite horror films of all time, man?
Let's hear it.
All right. I'm gonna start off with the original It. The reason why I say that is because just by Stephen King being, I guess, one of my favorite story writers,
Master.
and other people's. Clowns has always been a prominent fear, not for just
a lot of people.
Probably for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So that representation right there is already solidified. You know what I'm saying?
That's a perfect pick. Because people, from children to grown-ups, fear clowns for whatever reason. It's crazy because they were supposed to be like funny and happy and joyous, yet still people are horrified. That's like the whole dichotomy of that, like parallel universe shit, man.
Yeah, that's a literal parallel universe.
Perfect film, man. Let's keep it going.
The next one I chose was the first Alien movie.
I was gonna put that on my list, but I was going back and forth. Was it a science fiction horror?
Or was it more like horror?
More as a horror.
Where it fell in terms of category, but
good movie.
I think because the first time that you see it, especially the first one,
right?
You're kind of like, wow, what in the world is this? You know what I'm saying? No pun intended, but you're like, what in the world is this?
A bar.
You know what I'm saying?
What in the outer world is this?
What in the outer world is this?
Yo, H.R. Geiger. H.R. Geiger was very influential. His artwork, the setting, the dark atmosphere, the way the aliens were, the xenomorphs, the way they were designed, the set design. H.R. Geiger was ahead of his time, and I think he did that back in the 70s. This was back in the 70s.
Yeah, 70s.
Oh, man, that movie really set it off for a lot of the sci-fi horror genre, and it is a pillar in the horror movie culture. It is a pillar. Shout out to what's that? James Cameron, right? James Cameron, H.R. Geiger
directed a lot of great movies too. James Cameron.
A lot of them, yeah. I can't wait till we get into our director and producer list. Y'all wait for that.
We're gonna go into our top. Okay, so let's keep it going.
All right, so my third one I chose was another one in terms of its arrival, which was Child's Play. When you see a doll killing people, it's just like, all right, see, this is different.
Yeah.
See a little doll running around that's possessed.
And I ain't talking about the new all the way back then. Chucky looks more realistic than a new one.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah, the new one.
That's great.
Just the idea that a normal toy in your house could be possessed and murder you. That's right. Time.
Yeah, and I think the reason why I chose that was, just due to that whole idea. you know, of having an inanimate object just chasing you with a knife.
Right.
That's messed up. That's messed up. Okay, so now the next one I chose was Candyman. I had to put that on.
Ooh.
Okay,
Just
I see you on this list.
That might have been one of the first times we saw a black antagonist as the lead in a horror
Yep.
movie. As far back as I can remember. Like, we got a black killer as the lead.
Right, we finally got one.
You know, and that was scary because that's also like kind of based on the Bloody Mary myth of, you know, you go and you put your hands in the mirror, you say Bloody Mary 5 times, she will appear. And they kind of like Brit took from that, and now you say Candyman 5 times in the mirror, he will appear and fuck your ass up, man. And I think his name was Tony Todd, the actor.
Mm-hmm.
On Todd, yeah.
That dude is scary anyway.
In real life.
Well, he's creepy. Yeah, he's pretty creepy.
His voice, his eyes. He's a scary person. Like, if I met him, I don't want to like be by myself with him, because I'm just gonna always see him as Candyman.
Yo, well, what was that punchline you said to YK? You just a fake killer from Chicago, like
Candyman. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great choice. Let's keep it going.
Yep. How much is that so far? What is that?
I think that was 4 of them.
Well, okay, so the next one I chose, another thing that they kind of changed the way you look at horror, although it probably wasn't as good as it should have been, but just the way the grainy look of it was Blair Witch.
Woo! Blair Witch.
Because of the whole camera, like, you know, viewership. So now you're looking at it from a different type of way, because not like how the usual movies would be. So when they introduced that, it was just like, all right.
Now you get that created a whole new genre. That created the found footage genre.
Yeah, the footages, yeah.
Where you get paranormal activity.
Oh, definitely.
You get VHS.
I think the first Cloverfield shot in that shaky cam style, all that came from Blair Witch.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they marketed, the way they advertised the film was like this was real. Like, you know, Burkittsville, Maryland. And they haven't been seen, and 20 years later, the footage was found. It's like that was the most brilliant marketing campaign of all time. I believe they only spent like $12,000, $13,000, you know, total.
Smart.
Like
Very
that.
smart. All you gotta,
To create the film, and it made so many millions and created a whole new genre. So that, I think that kind of has to be on the list of, that's great. That's a great one.
Yep. Okay, so the next one I chose was, see, here's where it gets tricky. So I'm just gonna highlight in an entire series. I'm just gonna say the character itself, not a specific movie. I'm gonna say Michael Myers.
Oh, okay.
My uncle.
Michael Myers.
Yeah, Michael Myers.
My uncle. The Myers family has been murdering for years.
Facts.
They're coming to get you right now.
Yo, and it was just the idea of this guy in a mask, and he ain't even talking. This man done went 30,
You don't talk it
40 years. 40 years of a franchise and never said a word. And
never talk like Maggie Simpson.
Never talk like Maggie Simpson. You know what I'm saying? 30 years in the box and never talk like Maggie Simpson. Hey, shout out to Michael Myers, man.
Thanks.
That's a great one. I was actually gonna put the first Halloween on my list as well.
I don't have none of the movies on my list.
All right.
Ah, Ray, I can't wait to hear yours.
This is good though. We get diversity.
Yeah, we're gonna have.
I'm glad I said that one.
Even though I love all them movies, I own them, but I didn't put them on the list.
All right.
So what was that? 6 gentlemen? That was 6 of them, right?
All right.
So the 7th one I chose was Poltergeist.
Ooh, I was gonna put that one too.
Just due to the house horror.
Yeah.
Haunted house, by deal.
That movie still. That movie, I kind of still scared of that movie to this day, actually. So.
Yeah, Poltergeist, the original. I mean, it's long as hell.
The original one, not that remake. The original.
Yeah, Carol Ann.
Yeah.
Carol Ann. They just the TV with the static.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, that movie was horrifying.
Walking into the light.
Shout out to Poltergeist, man.
Yeah, that movie was dope. Next one I chose was Freddy, man. Come on.
You can't. I got that one on my list as well.
Just gotta have to. It changed. It just changed the game, man. Changed the game. Although they kind of they started putting more comedic elements, which was like, why would you do that?
Right.
It's the whole idea of going to sleep. We all know goddamn well we need to sleep.
We all got to go to sleep.
We all got to sleep. So now thinking, because it's kind of relatable, it's like, well, yeah, shit, I got to go to sleep too. So now you thinking, damn, if I go to sleep.
That film produced two iconic scenes in horror history where I believe it was the boyfriend levitated from the bed, or was that the girl?
Mm-hmm.
Levitated off the bed, and it was just that pool of blood.
That pool of blood. Oh,
okay. That's iconic. And also, when she was sleeping, I believe it was Nancy, was sleeping, and the imprint of Freddy's head out of the wall behind her. Iconic horror movie scene.
Classic, man.
Shout out to Freddy. But like you said, they went on to make it a little more comedic. It was kind of
just got a little comedic. It was
funny and corny. I was like, that first one was some shit. That's on my list.
Yeah. I didn't want to put Hellraiser only because we're covering it. So I didn't want that to waste a spot.
I feel you, but I had to put Hellraiser on my list.
Like Hellraiser on it? Okay. All
right.
Yeah, I think the next one I chose, let me see. Let me look at this list here. Because I actually wrote way more than 10. I'm actually picking out now. Gotta put Jason on there. You just have to. Why not?
Right.
I know I mentioned the slasher earlier, but Jason has to be on there too. Because Jason is more of a brutalizer, actually. Like Mike, he'll stab you up, but Jason, he'll mess around and he'll probably run you over or something, like some wildness.
I remember when the young couple was having sex and he stabbed the thing and it went through both of them. He don't care. Yeah, he don't care. All right. You got another, what's that? That's 8? You got another?
Yeah, I got another 2. Let me see. Let me look at this. So, and then, all right, so you know what? What I'll do is definitely got to add Hellraiser on there. But I'm going to say that, we'll discuss it furtherly, but I'm going to say the Hellraiser in terms of the classic 80s
way.
Which gave you the idea of a dimensional type character. I was just like,
go. And we're definitely gonna get into that. We definly about to get into that.
We're gonna get into it.
Character? That's some wild junk.
The extra dimensional murderer. This was that was groundbreaking. Shout out to Clive Barker, man.
Now this last one, because I was gonna ask you later, should we do honorable mentions too? Because there's a lot that didn't make it, but I was gonna say this last one. It's not necessarily a horror per se, but it's in the gore torment field. Because horror has so many subgenres, it's insane.
Right.
This one I chose was Saw.
You know what? I was just going back and forth with myself about Saw.
Picturing yourself going through machines and it's like, bro. That's scary.
That's horrifying, actually. It is a horror film. I also felt like it also could be like a psychological thriller.
You said something about Saw before.
Psychological torture.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was a mind game. You know that Tobin Bell was playing Jigsaw. Shout out to John Kramer.
John Kramer.
Shout out to him. But yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with my list real quick. I'm gonna just run through them. I had Phantasm.
I already knew.
The Tall Man.
Wow.
Come on,
I'm not even gonna lie.
Through your
I didn't
house
want to
like
say that. I
Phantasm.
knew you was gonna say that, so I'm not even gonna take Denny's answer. Nah, let me not even.
You got the silver orb with blades on it flying out. The mortuary, the antagonist was horrifying to look at. He was 6 foot something, slender old white man with the long white hair with a damn tuxedo on. He looked like he was out to kill your ass. Like that was all right. I'm gonna go with House. I liked House. I don't know if many people like that movie, but if you haven't seen House,
that's underrated. Wow, that's underrated.
That was actually horrifying. To this day, I probably get scared watching that shit.
I haven't seen it in a while though. It's been a while since I've seen that.
Yeah, it's like a classic feel. Mm-hmm.
I got First Nightmare on Elm Street for the same reason we had. You know, Freddy Krueger. I mean, that definitely helped propel the horror genre, especially back during that '80s run when there was a lot of slashers coming out.
Yeah.
I got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original one. You know, a Leatherface. This guy is 6 foot something, 200 some pounds of pure insanity. Anytime you can run with a chainsaw,
with a chainsaw,
you're freaking horrifying. And you know, like I said, when he picked you up and put you on a meat hook and let you hang, and you're bleeding, and then he's chainsawing you down. He's wearing somebody else's face.
And then when he get done killing you, he mess around and put your face on.
Exactly. He'll rip your face off and wear it. Like what?
Right.
It don't get no scarier than that, bro. I don't know. That's horrifying. All right.
That's wild. That's wild.
I'm gonna go into a basket case. Basket case with
my God.
He had a brother deformed on the side of his rib cage.
Oh my goodness, that movie was weird, bro. Oh my God, man, I told you I'm about to do my list over.
We're gonna go with Hereditary. I thought it was a mind. You know, it was mind bending, and the ending was classic. I love the ending of Hereditary. I won't spoil it.
The ending was good.
Who haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but just from the ending alone, I got Hereditary. I'm going to go with 30 Days of Night.
Nice. Yeah, there we go.
28 Days Later.
I was waiting for somebody to say some type of infected type of joint, some type of zombie joint. I was waiting for
28 Days Later. There we go.
You ready for that?
28 Days Later.
Rain got everything in the office.
He got everything. And I will go with, I'm going to go with Sinister.
That's a good one. Wow. I didn't even move. Wow.
Yeah, I like for a modern day horror film, I really mess with Sinister a lot. So I'm going to rock with that one. We're going to get into Rain's top 10.
Well, mine aren't any no particular order, but I'm gonna have to go with The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Came out in 2005.
Okay.
Great movie. If y'all can see that.
Yeah.
The whole idea of possession. Yeah. See, that's another. Yeah.
That boring scene scares me to this day.
Wow. Yeah. Fantastic.
These series of movies. VHS and VHS 2. These two movies.
You know they got a
third. I gotta get them. You know what? I'm gonna order them off Amazon.
Take one from Danny List.
Crazy.
Bitch, wow.
Sinister.
Sinister.
Yeah, exactly.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Y'all haven't seen that? Make sure y'all go by and pick that up. Sinister came out like 2012. Danny, I think you was trying to think like me, man, because I also got 30 Days a Night.
You can't go wrong, man.
That's one of the scariest. What are these, vampires?
Yeah, some sort of
being in a secluded town with no sunlight. There is no main roads. There's no main city. You're cut off from the down there the rest of the world out there where they was at in Alaska. And they're trapped with these
snowstorm,
bloodthirsty vampires that was literally ripping people apart.
Yeah, that's a fact.
We'll never forget the overhead shot of the vampires ravaging through the town and leaving behind a trail of bodies in the snow from the overhead shot. That is an iconic scene in horror movie film. Shout out to the 30 Days a Night. Get that.
Let's see, an original 1973 Exorcist.
Oh,
nobody said
original.
The
original.
I was gonna put Exorcist, but I knew you was gonna put the Exorcist.
Yeah, I was trying to make my list bigger because I know y'all guys. So I was trying to make it to where I don't copy anybody.
Right.
Has anybody seen or heard of this movie? Came out in 2006 called Bug.
Yeah. I've actually seen
that. That was creepy.
Man, that movie
it make you itch.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Damn.
It make you itch.
Something like that.
Shout out to Bug.
Well, this is one of my favorite killers. I know we got Freddy, we got Jason, we had Leatherface, but this man right here, the Collector.
Oh yeah, the Collector.
Man,
he's underrated too. He's underrated.
That off the chain.
Don't break it.
I got another. This I don't know if it was slept on, but it's definitely a rated R movie. Like rate.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
On it. The Last House on the Left.
Yeah, another house type joint. Yep.
And the reason that is scary because it's more realistic. It's not really so much monsters and spirits, but these are like actual people that
just murderers.
Yeah, that's be the scariest ones because that's stuff that could really happen.
Watch you house y'all go over. Danny, I've been trying to get you to watch this movie for about 2 years.
Let me see. It better not. Let me see what it is.
That movie called Hunger.
Oh, I still ain't seen Hunger.
Yeah, that's Hunger. You know what? I'm gonna make that my mission to watch. I know what that is. Did not watch it. I'm literally putting that down there.
All them people down in this cave. He trapped them down there to see how long they can go, basically without starving to death. See how long it'll take them to starve, and they eventually all start sitting down there, eating each other alive. You have some bad stuff going on in that movie.
You said some bad stuff. All right.
Yeah. So that's like cannibalism.
For anybody at home watching this,
I mean, you starving to death. You're gonna do something.
Leave a comment below. Leave a comment below about Hunger if you've seen that movie. So
yes, please. Let us know if you like
about Hunger.
Okay. And last but not least, I'm surprised you Myers didn't name this. How did y'all forget about this? 13 Ghosts, man.
Oh yeah.
That is actually a good modern.
About 13 Ghosts.
Well, anything 2000 and up, I would say would be like in a modern.
Like modern, yeah.
That was definitely one of the scarier ones.
Yeah, 13 Ghosts came out 2001? Yeah, 2001.
Early 2000s, yep. Yes, it did.
Crazy. I wish they would remake
it with its head in the clear box. The ghost with the one that had his head in the box.
The jackal.
The jackal. Yeah, man. That just scenes like that just don't leave your mind.
Is there any honorable mentions you guys have that you feel could also make it if it's like a top 20?
I would say The Conjuring.
Conjuring, yeah. There we go. Wow, yeah.
Insidious.
Insidious,
The Conjuring, Oculus. I think Oculus might be a little bit slept on too.
Yeah, Oculus definitely was slept on. I like that movie.
What about like The Shining?
Classic.
Yeah, classic.
I mean,
some underrated classics.
you can't miss when you're talking about like Stephen King.
Hopefully they knew about some of the ones I named. Let me see. I don't know. I don't have too many horror movies. Well, The Hills Have Eyes.
The Hills
That
Have
was good.
Eyes. I was gonna say,
That
what
was
about
good.
like Evil Dead? Like even the remake was pretty good too.
Oh man,
Evil Dead.
man,
Uh-huh.
great.
Those was good ones.
We want to delve a little bit into
I
those
know
were
Danny remember
top
that
10.
Saw
Those
movie.
were some solid top 10s. I don't think you can get too much better than that. I think we all had like very eclectic lists, diverse.
Comment down below if you have different type of lists. We would like to see it.
Yeah, no, y'all top 10 horrors.
Yeah, put your favorite top 10 movies in the comments below. We gonna get to the movie of this week.
Hellraiser.
Film Fanatic Friday. We're gonna get a little bit into the original Hellraiser and why it's an iconic horror movie classic. What scares you about it? What was different about it? We're gonna start with Rain.
Well, Hellraiser for me, I remember seeing the cover of Hellraiser probably every time I went into a Blockbuster or a Hollywood video. It's like you seen Pinhead. Well, I don't know if he was called himself Pinhead, but I think we just gave him that name and it stuck. Yeah, it was a horror thriller.
Right.
It came out in 1987.
They consider it
yeah.
gothic fiction. They consider it gothic fiction, which is a whole different type of. That's something else right there.
Exactly.
I thought it was very violent. It was a violent movie. It was
Super violent.
masochistic. Up in that way. Let's see what else. The human people in there, they was actually portrayed pretty well for it to be like an old ass movie. Usually they just don't care about the humans in the movies and the killer just kill them off. But they actually had good written stories about the humans. We already know who it was written and directed by.
In case y'all don't know,
the master Clive Barker, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it was from his novel. His novel dealing with Hellbound Heart.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Hellbound Heart.
What else?
That's what it's based on. Just in case if you Hellraiser fans don't know.
Yeah. And I wrote down a little stuff like when a dad is trying to move the mattress, he cuts his hand, and some of that blood gets on the floorboards in the attic, and pretty soon this thing forms into the guy's brother. Except, he came out, he was just muscle and flesh.
Yeah, that was
he learned that he had an affair with his brother's wife.
Yeah, that was Frank. Frank was messing with his brother. What was his brother's name?
The hell was his brother's name? I know I put it down. Frank was played by Sean Chapman. And Frank's brother Andrew Robinson, and his wife in the movie name was Julia.
Right. Julia, yep, that was the wife.
Played by Claire Higgins. So yeah, but she was killing or she'll bring men to the house so he can feed off of them, so he can be able to get his flesh back.
So the brother's name was Larry. Larry married Julia. Julia had an affair with Larry's brother, Frank. Okay. I believe at the beginning of the film, what people probably don't, Frank bought a puzzle box from a merchant in Morocco, northern Africa. He brings the cube back to England to I believe that was his mother's house. He unlocks and he does it's called the Lamet configuration. The Lamet configuration thus opens the box, opens a portal to hell, releasing the Cenobites.
Yep.
The Cenobites.
And that took Frank's body apart.
Exactly. And the Cenobites actually worked, even Pinhead himself. Pinhead and the engineer. See, Pinhead was one of the leaders of the Cenobites. So was the engineer, who only appears as a flash of light. You really don't see the engineer. But these two, they are over the Cenobites, and they work for Leviathan. Leviathan is the deity that controls the labyrinth. the entire puzzle world it existed in an interdimensional.
Dimensional.
They were all interdimensional beings, and they could only come to Earth once unlocked from the Lamet configuration from the box. I believe the girl's name was Kirsty.
Yep.
Yeah, Kirsty or Christy or something like that.
Yeah. So it was Kirsty who gets the box. She makes a deal with the Cenobites because they was trying to take her to hell, and she said, "I'll give you Frank," because Frank basically tried to escape from the Cenobites. He needed blood from living humans to become flesh again. That's when Julia was bringing, like you said, she was bringing them into the house,
blowing them in. Yep.
She was killing him to feed him to get him to come back to life because she loved him so much, more so than her actual husband.
She was definitely infatuated with him.
Yeah,
definitely.
Anytime you would kill motherfucker to bring somebody back to life, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, and and the thing is, I think he wound up killing her. I don't know if it was an accident, but I know Frank wound up killing Julia, and it's crazy because she was the one that bring him back to life, and he was played by Sean Chapman. Doug Bradley played Pinhead, and like I said, it was iconic because Pinhead didn't necessarily use physical force. He used powers.
Let's get into how Pinhead was talking. Like he would talk on like a Shakespearean kind of yo. The stuff he was saying was, I was like, dog, this
he
guy
had
right
bars. He was the original bar guy. Shout out to Pinhead.
Man.
Pinhead had bars. He was creepy. Like you said, though, just the way he talked, the way he presented himself was of a godly nature. But it's crazy because as powerful as he wasn't as powerful as his boss, which was Leviathan.
Leviathan, yeah.
Controlled the entire world of the labyrinth. And, it's a whole lot of lore that goes behind this whole Hellraiser film. But the idea of chains grabbing you, piercing through your skin,
all in your back,
ripping your flesh. All the Cenobites at one point were human. They were all at one point human except Angelique, who was Leviathan's daughter. We'll get into that on another.
Yeah, episode. that's further. Yeah, that's further on.
This is a whole lot of inner stories that interconnect with this whole Hellraiser world. Like this is what made it dope because it just wasn't just a one-off, horror movie. And then
they got 10 of them. It's 10.
Yeah, I thought they only had 9, but come to find out they do have 10 of them.
Yeah, some of them got corny as hell. Some
it started kind of
way off track. Yeah, but the original one was a hallmark in horror film history. Shout out to Clive Barker, the master. So from what I've gathered is that Pinhead himself was a human named Elliot Spencer. He was born in Britain in 1887. He served in the First World War in France. I believe he was killed after that, and his soul became, part of Leviathan's his crew of Cenobites. And he was, made his way up to the high-ranking master of the Cenobites, him along with the engineer.
So he basically wrote a story about me. Bars.
Right. So,
parallel universe.
Parallel universe, man.
Well, the movie, I thought it was a great horror plot, for its time. I thought the practical effect was done very well, and I thought the violence was off the chain.
I loved the makeup ideal on like the set makeup that Clive was doing. It was because he didn't really rely on CGI, and at the time, of course, CGI wasn't as advanced as it is now, but he just gave a much more different feel. Rather than saying, okay, we're just going to CGI everything. And I think that's what separates it from a lot of other, horror movies.
Man.
What would y'all rate the movie if y'all had to rate it? I would rate it a B+.
Yeah, I would say 8 out of 10 for me, just from the.
Are we talking the? Yeah. Are we talking the first movie or entire?
The first one.
No, the first
one?
movie. Yeah.
Around the same one y'all saying. Yeah. Because
All right.
it didn't reach a 10, but it definitely, I believe, in my opinion, though, I know we're not talking about part 2, but I feel part 2 was damn near almost a 10. Part 2 was insane.
I'm gonna watch that tonight because I didn't see
part 2 was, anybody didn't see, or if you have, just what Danny was talking about, the cube and the labyrinth, like it goes further into
It goes further.
into
The cube itself was made of.
more,
The cube itself was made of human bone and flesh. The cube, the different configurations unlock certain different dimensions and different beings. Even the engineer himself could be released from a certain configuration. I believe it was oh man, we gonna get into it, but that'll conclude this week's episode of Film Fanatic Friday. Shout out to both of y'all.
Hold on, Danny. What you say about that? Danny, what you say? You rub your thumb over the box like you summoning Hellraiser?
Hellraiser?
Yeah, I was a bar. I had to have a Hellraiser bar. You know, as battle rappers, we draw influence from a lot of things we see, and you know, when you're a horror fan like me, I'm gonna find a way to put these horror movies into the bar. Like I had Jeeper Creeper bar, I had the Hellraiser bar, I had the Candyman bar. I just recently had the Candy. Yeah, but we gonna keep going. We'll see y'all back on Wednesday for Gaming Wednesdays. We're gonna break down
Wednesdays.
And we'll be back. So appreciate everybody for rocking with us.
Shout out to y'all.